Hey, it's Megan Blevins, and this is my Comp 10 presentation on Kahoot. So the website is kahoot.com. I chose Kahoot because I played it in class, but I've never made one myself, so I wanted to learn how to do that because I think it's a really neat concept to have. And then doing more research, I found out that the basic features are free, but if you pay $35.99 for the whole year, which is only just $3 a month almost, you get a bunch of other features that you can have on there. Um, so how it works for this free features is teachers can create quizzes for students to take. They can add images to go along with the questions, and they can add as many answers as they want. Usually, I've seen four, and then they can have how long students have to answer the question. Typically, it's 20 minutes, but you can or 20 seconds, and you can have it to be anywhere from like 5 to 120 seconds. So when it's done, you can have it where you hit play, and then it gives a code for the students to put on their laptops or phones, whatever they're using. And once they put in that code, it gives them an opportunity to put in a nickname, and then the teacher can set up the guidelines for that if they want it to be their actual name, or if they can use a nickname, or if they're playing in groups, they can do a group name. Again, the teacher decides how they want to do that. So on the teacher screen, it has the question and the answers, and then on the student screen, all it has is the answers. And so they answer it, and if they get it right, it tells them they got it right. If they get it wrong, and it shows they get it wrong, but they get points for each time they answer. And then the teacher can see who got it right, who got it wrong, and then it shows a scoreboard of the whole class. It shows like the top five. And then, which brings me to the benefits and drawbacks. Benefits is that it gives teachers a quick snapshot of what students know. And it's also very engaging for the students. They love competing and getting the high score. But the drawback on that is that um, the points are for speed and not necessarily the right answer. So you could get all the answers wrong, but still be in the leaderboard because you answered quickly. So that's something that I would be cautious about going into that. What age groups? I would definitely start using this as young as second grade. I feel like a little, if they're younger than that, that might have a little bit issues just controlling whatever device they're on. I feel like this would be very beneficial for schools that have Chromebooks because then each student can have their own Chromebook and they can all get on their own app and then play that way. But for those students who don't have individual Chromebooks and have like maybe a class set, then students can get in groups and answer them in groups instead of individually. I really like this app because you can use it in so many different ways. Like I've seen people use it in like a getting to know you. It's kind of fun, quick thing to do at the beginning of the school year. You can have it to where as a pre-assessment, so you ask them like questions and they answer it, and then you go back and look at the results and see what you need to teach and what they already know. Or you can use it as a review. So you pick the questions you want them to most know, and then they answer it, and then you have like a quick little review about that subject in between each question. And like I said, you can go back and monitor the students' answers so you can plan further instructions. Modifications and adaptations. One thing that I like is that the answers not only have the answers, but it also has the colors and the shapes. So your students who are colorblind could also answer it based off the shapes. Or if your students are a little younger and they don't know their colors and shapes as well as they should, then they could associate it with that. And then another thing that I like is for those students who have too much pressure on having timed things, it allows them, you can have it to where it allots them more time to answer the question so they don't have as much pressure on it. Or if you have a complex question, Kahoot with Kahoot, you can break it down into different questions that they can answer. And then for extended learning on how to use Kahoot, my first resource is 12 ways to use Kahoot in your classroom. So it gives like different ways you can use it, like in quizzes or in games, and like when you use it. The second one is a video tutorial on how to create Kahoot, and then it also goes over how it looks on the teacher screen, how it looks on the student screen. And then the last one is just giving tips on how to use and create Kahoot. Just another one that I found interesting. And that's that on that. And now I want to sign into mine. So I just went to kahoot.com and signed into mine, and then I made one about myself. And if I wanted to, I could click on the three dots and I could edit my Kahoot. So like on this one, what I did was I typed in the question, I picked the time that was allotted. You can allow or not allow points, which I guess would be a good way to get around the point system if your kids are just going through and clicking as fast as they can instead of actually taking the time to answer the question. I added a picture for effects, and then I chose 4 answers, and then the one that was right, you just click the check mark, and that's how you know that it's right. So I want to actually show you what it looks like whenever you play. So if I click on it, you can do a preview of how it looks to you and then how it looks to the student. So like the left side would be my screen and then the right side is the student's. So I can hit classic mode and it gives me the code. So that's the code that comes up. And then the phone is the kids, obviously. And then they enter the code and then they can put in a nickname. And then it says you're in, and do you see your name on the screen? And then on my screen, it shows the names of all the students that are there. And like if I didn't like a name they picked, I could delete them. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And like I explained earlier, on my screen, it's going to show the questions and the answers, but on their screen, it's just going to have the answers. So what is my favorite color? And see, it shows that they got it correct, and it gave them points for getting it correct, and it shows that they're in first place. And then on my screen, I can see who all got it right, who got it wrong. And then if I hit next, it shows the scoreboard, and usually it shows, I think, like the top 5 of who's in the class. Go through this one. I'm going to get this one wrong just to see what it looks like. It says incorrect, answer streak is lost. So it also tracks how many streaks they have. I think they get more points for if they stay in a streak. It says better luck next time. Usually it gives more encouraging notes down there than that, but then it still shows them what place they were in. And again, I can see who got it right and who got it wrong, and like it says here, it shows the check mark for the right answer. Again, it gave them more points for getting it right. I probably picked too many questions for this, but it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and get this one wrong too. And again, it shows the check mark for the right answer. And see, there's a more motivational one. Nothing worth having comes easy. What was Miss Blevins' first job? And then there shows the answer streak that I was talking about earlier. And then it shows the top 3 in the class. And then I've seen teachers where they like give candy to like the top 3 people. But like I said, you gotta be careful with that because some people just answer quick just to get points. Then I can hit get results and save results if I want to save all the students' answers and go back and reflect on what they know. And that's the basics of Kahoot.